Look at that painting. That's amazing, Richard-Lael.
Yes.
Well, thank you. You know what? I wanted to paint. There's a couple of things that I saw. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now.
Yes.
I saw a woman. The first thing that I saw was her aesthetic was kind of old-fashioned, but her heyday is probably the 60s. Now, she did not really dress like a witch, but I do see her reading cards, and she was kind of groovy. I don't know who she is, but she's sort of
I love
Janis
60s,
Joplin.
late 60s groovy.
Yeah,
Say
she's
again,
kind of
Donna?
she's a little heavier set than Janis Joplin though. But she's kind of like when I see her, she's kind of like she's far out.
Wow.
Yeah, she's very 1960s, but she has a vintage appeal. Like she loves the 20s and the 30s, and for some reason Betty Boop kept coming to mind.
Oh.
Do you
Yeah.
think she's dressed as
I
a
can see that
nurse?
with her.
Is she dressed as a nurse by chance?
She's dressed in a feather boa, but she could well be, that could have been like her alter ego is this
Right.
sort of
Like the burlesque kind of interesting.
Who's got a 9 o'clock chime going off there? Is
that would be me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Richard-Lael. We were
I
all
am on the East Coast. It
Debunked.
is 9 o'clock by my
okay.
and all is well. Do you know where your children are?
I do want
Yeah.
to say those clouds are beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, Courtney, why don't we head down to the basement then?
Before we do that, can we try
sorry.
one? Can we try one more thing with the Ouija board?
Sure.
Because with the basement, I mean, I'm really worried about the basement. So before we go, I want to test one thing out. If you can go to the Ouija board, and I want you to ask if let me get the name here. Are you with the Ouija board?
Let me get it set up. I just heard what was that? Did anybody hear that?
Yeah, I heard that. Was that tapping?
It was like a thump.
Yeah.
Guys,
I want you to go to the Ouija board, and I want you to ask if anybody knows James LeBar.
Oh God.
Okay. A little context.
Can you guys
Yeah,
hear
we
me?
can hear you now, Haley.
My seat dropped. I have one of those chairs you can pull up. It just dropped down when my thing got muted.
The hydraulics? You fell? Your chair?
Yes. Yeah. I legit dropped and had a mini heart attack, for real, like this. It won't even do it now because I was already up high enough. I was like this.
Does your doll feel hot? Does your doll feel hot right now?
Yeah, she has been. That's why I can't I keep moving my hands off of her.
Are your hands sweating holding her?
Yeah, I keep rubbing them on my stockings.
Wait till we get to the basement. It's going to get even more intense for you.
Okay. David, give us a little context. Who's the name we're looking for? We're
looking for James LeBar.
Yeah, who's this guy?
So James LeBar was he was the chief exorcist for the state of New York diocese.
Oh.
And he lived in Poughkeepsie, and there was a mental institution very close to where this house is, and he was the chaplain or the priest at this insane asylum for, I think, for a dozen or more years, maybe 20 years. I don't remember the exact number, but having the priest, and he was famous to a degree. He was the one who did the live exorcisms, and he did stuff on Geraldo and things like that back in the day.
Oh.
But he was from Poughkeepsie, and he was stationed in Poughkeepsie at the mental institutions.
Oh.
And you just wonder what type of things he was dealing with there. And I wonder if maybe he didn't try to push some of the things away. Hell, he was probably creating more of the evil than he was getting rid of. But I wonder if some of that wasn't conjured and that some of that might be gathering in the house. And I'd like to make sure that Courtney's okay with that before going downstairs.
Okay.
I just heard a tap behind me.
I heard that too.
Okay.
Is that you?
No, it was there. I heard something something drop on the floor in the room here. It wasn't through my speaker. It was in the room.
I heard that too.
Richard-Lael, did you get this image at all? Have you seen him at all in your visions?
Wow.
Yes, actually, there is someone that I do see that is very similar to him. He wasn't wearing the cleric's uniform when I saw him, but I did see someone with the big glasses. Um, he is one that I see. There's a Native American that I see a lot. There's an elderly couple that I see. There's a lot of energy that comes through this place.
Right. As
Yeah,
if it's a
makes
portal.
so much sense. Yeah, Richard-Lael, do you see that as a portal? You see a portal in the house, or is it just a pass-through place?
Is it a pass through? Well, I think it is. I think it's more of a pass through than it is. It's a conduit in and of itself. Everything that goes on in the area, way back in the 1800s, in that area, there was a Japanese religious retreat that was not far from here, 30 minutes away from here. The man who founded it was American, but he was called a heretic because he thought that Jesus was Yeshua, male and female. So there's this big colony of these people who are not far from here. There's a
Oh,
lot of energy in the ground right around that area.
right.
Hold
Courtney?
on. So I posted a video about this earlier
Exactly.
today. I had a
Yes.
dream last night. Richard-Lael, that my friend and I were going to some location. We had to get from the car into the location very fast, or else like whatever it was going to get us. And I looked down, I saw a structure, and next to it, I saw this thing, and I said out loud in the dream, it's a Japanese mask. And it looked like it was like white with red around its mouth with a giant like sickly smile in it. And we've been like obsessing over a Japanese mask all day today, trying to figure out what it was.
Well, that's why
Oh.
it's because that area, like I said, it was a little bit closer, a little bit more east is where they had founded, but the mountains were reminiscent of the mountains in Japan. And this cult leader who came in, he was, for all intents and purposes, a cult leader. Not all cults are bad, but he was a cult leader, and it was kind of a sex cult too. He ended up by having intercourse with his parishioners. But the
Ugh.
funniest thing about this fellow is that he had taken in all of this money, had a big house built, and then he had a library, but they were only fake books. There was nothing in them. And then he left. He went to California, and he said, "Well, I need, I have to have these few people with me because the others are not spiritually attuned yet." So the rest of them stayed here, and then one of them actually became the ambassador to Japan.
Wow. Wow. That's quite an epic story. I can't. So that's what you were picking up on, Courtney, in your dream?
Well, what's terrifying, Dean, is that there was more to my dream that I didn't feel like was appropriate to post anywhere because it was kind of graphic, but like fully fits into that.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I want to hear any more of it. Let's go back to this exorcist.
Yeah,
fella.
I'm freaked out. I'm ready. I'm less freaked out by the Ouija board right now than I am about the fact that that dream was just corroborated.
Yeah. Let's get you downstairs.
Okay.
I think I don't even ask about the exorcist stuff anymore. Go down to the basement.
Okay.
Listen and do try to protect yourself going down. I know we've talked before, and you've got your guardians. Definitely protect yourself. I don't know if you've already been down there or not, but
yeah,
I'm aware of some stuff that's down there that I think is a lot of what's happening in this house. With Courtney heading down there, earlier Richard-Lael was talking about the name Poughkeepsie, and if I recall properly, it came from the name Place in the Woods. But the way this evolved, where there were all these springs near Poughkeepsie, and they flowed up and they went down. They created these waterways and these rivers, and the Native Americans came and started camping where these springs came together because there was the fresh water there. And some Dutch boys saw them camping there, and they said the place they camp in the woods, or it was something similar to that. But these springs have always had these powers, and there were all of these springs all over the place there. And this helped to form the area. And we've talked about this on the show before, how water is such a strong conduit for spirits.
Right.
The flowing of the water, the different elements in the water can help to feed them, because we all know that ghosts can't just eat a sandwich to do the things they want. They need something to charge them. And here's the crazy thing. I think Courtney's doing it right now. I don't know if she knows this, but there is a spring, or there's water flowing underneath the house. You can actually see it from the basement, from what I've been told.
We'll be
So-
friends.
So
You're in the basement, Courtney. Tell us, give us a little. What are we looking at right
Is that what
there?
you're talking about?
Yeah, I believe that's a piece of wood over a hole that goes down to a stream, perhaps that runs
She's
under the house.
frozen on me. Is it possible? I can't see what Courtney's doing, but can you see the water? Can you touch the water?
Can you move that piece of wood and touch the water? Asked David.
No, I can't see the water. I think it's down too far.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you climb down in there until you can get a drink of the water?
No, David. I am not climbing in a hole.